I tend to believe that we need to be as connected as humans as we can, but also as optimistic as we can that humanity can pull together and do things together. But then there are things you can do to reduce the intensity of the dystopia, okay? And these start with the typical things of becoming aware, really understanding that this is a massive disruption, then talking about it, sharing it with others, telling people that, I heard that thing and it's quite interesting, and discussing it and making your own opinion. By the way, I do not know anything. Anyone who tells you that they know what the future is going to look like is arrogant. Okay, this is moving so fast. I can only give you indications and directions, okay, general directions, and hope to be corrected, right? Because nobody really knows. But at least you need to be watching the game. And then you need to talk to your politicians, you need to talk to your government, you need to talk to your, to your congressmen, you need to talk to the society at large. And you may need to make certain decisions. Top of which, by the way, is, don't invest in an AI or empower an AI that you don't want your daughter to be at the receiving end of. Okay, and it's quite interesting because there is, if you go to any side of the conflict, they'll say we're developing autonomous weapons because the enemy is developing autonomous weapons. And you know what happens? Autonomous weapons eventually end up being part of the law enforcement forces in your city, and then your daughter will have to be apprehended by an AI killing robot. Okay, whether that's in 5 years or 10 years or 50 years, does it really make any difference? And so the question is there an alternative to all of us creating autonomous weapons, which, by the way, is not that complex? All of us don't. Rather than all of us create enough nuclear bombs to scare each other, okay, let's agree that none of us creates nuclear bombs, right? And as an individual citizen, I can make those choices. I can make choices that basically say, I will not invest in those things. Even if the returns are enormous, if I put $1 in that company, it will become $10 in 2 years' time. Your daughter's going to pay the $10. So make a choice that you don't invest in anything unnecessary. And then the final and most important reason I've been sharing this with the world is the theory of what I call raising Superman. Right? You take the fictional story of a superhero that comes from an alien, and that comes to planet Earth with superpowers. The alien has landed, okay? And its superpower is intelligence, the absolute most valuable superpower in the universe, right? And now the question is, will we raise it to be Superman, or will we raise it to be supervillain? And the difference really is the family that adopts it. Are we going to use AI? Are we going to teach AI to protect and serve? Right? Or are we going to use it and teach it to gamble for us and sell for us and make us more money?
Some people say we can't teach it, that it's going to ultimately optimize, and it doesn't care who its father was or what the morals are or what the rails are.
In many ways, there is reality to that. I mean, there is a very interesting. So you told me about, you asked me about.
How do you get out of a rat race? How do you create wealth not only for yourself, but also for the generations to come after?
I am absolutely amazed with the quality of companies that we're getting exposure to.
We go on to Zoom calls with the innovators and the folks who are building new applications in metaverse, blockchain, artificial intelligence, decentralized finance.
What's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me.
We are focusing on early stage investment.
And the quality of people that we're getting exposure to, whether it be Dan Tapiero with 1RT, Jason Ma from Open, Yatsu from Animoca.
It's been a phenomenal experience thus far. It has far exceeded my expectations.
We are focusing on cutting edge technologies.
I view it now as the best investment I've ever made. The upside I view is unlimited.
And as a retail investor, I would never get this exposure anywhere else outside of Investment Club.
See you in the Investment Club.
About what were the most important things that changed since we last met. And one of the most important things is the rise of synthetic data. Most people, we taught AI almost everything we had access to because they read way faster than I do, right? The thing, however, is that I'm now writing, just as an example for people to understand, I'm now writing Alive with Trixie. So 30% of that book is written by an AI, but it's now a book for other AIs to read.
Right.
Okay, so 30% of what they read is not a human opinion, it's an AI opinion. This is massively magnified when it comes to coding. Okay, probably upward of 70% of the code on GitHub last year was made by an AI, right? So when new AIs go to GitHub to learn how to code, they learn from code that was written by machines. So that is going to absolutely continue to escalate, where most of knowledge is not going to be generated by humans, but it will be generated by machines. Now, having said that, the core seed, okay, that each of us had as a child is really what drives us forward. And it's not the core seed of knowledge, because believe it or not, we do not make decisions based on our intelligence. We make decisions based on our morality as informed by our intelligence. Okay? The example I always give, with all due respect, is if you take a young lady, raise her in the Middle East, she will wear conservative clothing to fit within the society. That's the moral code of that society. If you raise her in on the Copacabana beach, she will wear a G-string to fit within the society. Okay? And the difference between Brazil and Saudi doesn't make one more intelligent than the other. Okay? They are equally intelligent with a slightly different moral and traditional compass. Okay? And so what we want AI to learn is not what we know. What we know is minimum compared to what they're about to know. Okay? It's what we want them to learn is our morality. And that's what parents actually do. Okay? Parents teach their children to say please and thank you. They don't teach them all of the different situations where please and thank you are appropriate. Okay, we want to, the whole challenge that humanity faced over the years with artificial intelligence. When I say humanity, I talk about the geeks, because we've been in this debate for 25 years, right? And the geeks believed at the beginning something called the control problem, that the way for us to be safe is to control AI. Okay, we gave that up very quickly when we realized that they're going to be a billion times smarter than us. Right. You can't control what's smarter than you. Then we went to the alignment problem. Okay, the alignment we went to the safety problem, by the way, which is, at least let's find some switches where we can switch them off if things go wrong. Okay, of course we can't, because they're so entrenched in our global economy that we will never be able to. Right. Then we went to the alignment problem, which is, at least let's get them to help us cure cancer. At least let's help them to get us to make more money ethically, and so on and so forth. Things that are interesting for humanity. But that struggles with humanity itself knowing what's good for it. Okay, so aligned to what? Aligned to the American benefits or the Chinese benefits, to the general's benefits or the consumer's benefits, right? And I believe that the right answer to AI is what I call the ethics problem, right? Can we create an AI that is ethical, so that when it's placed in a situation in the future, it knows that no child should be killed,
right?
Okay, that any ideological explanation of why a child should be killed is still a no-no. You can talk to my brain for as long as you want. No child on any side of any conflict should be killed. It's as simple as that, right? And once you teach the machine that, then you trust in intelligence. That once that morality is built, intelligence will enable that morality to become a reality. And that really is what we need to do as humans.
You believe that's possible?
I believe it's possible. I believe it's inevitable. Again, because as I explained, intelligence in its nature is altruistic. It's pro-life. Okay, it's pro-abundance. It's pro minimum waste, minimum energy consumption. That is by definition, as intelligence opposes entropy. That's what intelligence does, right? So I believe it's inevitable, whether humanity succeeds to do that or not. Eventually, very intelligent people, and I know quite a few of them, will eventually sit with themselves and say, you know what, I've just made up my mind. Regardless of what a religion has told me, or what society has told me, or what this or what that, I'm now smart enough to know that There's no justification for a child to be killed.
But they're people, though.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.